Today, are you recording? All right, so what we're going to be doing today is working on the potter's wheel. And to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and give you a demonstration, and then we'll see if any of you want to give it a try. All right, to begin with, there is a switch over on the side here.
Oh my God, can that like cut you?
And it does have there is a pedal over on the side, and I can control the speed. So I can press it down. Now this is also kind of nice because it's like a car on cruise control. If I take my foot off, that's as fast.
Whoa! Can it like cut you if you accidentally like put your hand on it?
So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, as you would kind of imagine, if I were just to drag my hand on there, it would really kind of hurt. So instead, it'd have some friction on my hand that I don't want. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this wet so that my hand will glide over it. Now what I'm also doing is I need to prep my clay a little bit. So I'm prepping the clay. I need to make sure that usually to start off with, we're going to make it about the size of say a softball. Softball's a little big. Let's go for a baseball.
Yeah. I don't play baseball either.
Yeah. So with your clay, you want to make sure that it's nice and together. You don't want to have any big divisions in it because that's going to make a big difference later. So take and kind of pat it into a ball. Next thing you're going to do is we're going to want this to be right here in the center of my wheel. And this is kind of set up, it looks like a bullseye, and that's what you kind of need to think of it as. So what I'm going to do is we need this on here. And I just made a fantastic bullseye, but the problem is I can take it right off. What I need is to kind of put it on there and then to have a little bit of suction to it. So what I'm going to do is play a little bit of darts here. Now, Mrs. Rao
Chuck it at it.
is usually not a good darts player, but let's see if I can get this. Not a bullseye. So if it's not a bullseye, then what you have to do is you have to kind of work with it to go over towards where you want it. And I'm going to take this, and you put a little bit of water on there. You don't want it all sloppy, but you want your hands to be able to glide over the top of it. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to need to be in control of the clay. Now, you got to think of this. I always think of this as kind of like if you're babysitting. I know some of you maybe babysit sometimes. You've got to be in control of the situation. Right now, this lump of clay is wild and out of control. It's shoving me around. It's pushing me all over the place. So instead, I need to I need to push the clay. Don't push kids if you're babysitting. I need to kind of all right, so I always think of this as my wild child. That's why I was kind of saying that to babysitting. It's kind of little like, woo.
Oh my God.
So that's my wild child, and what I need to do is I need to center it. So what I'm going to do is one elbow needs to be your anchor, and this one stays strong. You need to think of it as staying strong, and then my other hand is going to be my guiding hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and
Yeah, that doesn't look very. Oh, I see it.
do you see where it is more in control in the center here? Let's go ahead and put a little bit more. Is it shoving me around anymore?
Nope. Yeah, I like your pinky.
So I kind of told it like, hey, you know what? This is how it's going to be right here. So wild child under control. Now there's some of it down here that kind of slipped out underneath. So I need to, I forgot to get a tool. So here, just a minute.
Hold us behind the scenes. I can't wait to make this You
I
like don't
forgot
touch
this
my
important
hair.
right here. So in the tubs that you have been using, you have one of those like flexible things. Those are called ribs. This is another kind of rib. It's obviously not metal, it's actually wooden. And what we're going to use this for is to scrape off all of that stuff that didn't. So from my wild child, there's some of it that was kind of like, didn't want to listen.
Oh, and you have to cut the that.
So now let's go ahead
Cut the fingers off.
and all right, so now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it's still a little wobbly, but am I in more control now?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of,
I'm sorry, I need to move it all times.
now what I'm going to do is, it's needing to be a little bit more of like a plateau sort of look to it.
Oh my God.
So,
Were you just not science? Yeah, we're not science.
all right, so on my,
It's out.
yeah,
It looks weird.
Yes.
It's a little disformed. It's like a your hands look like, yeah. Are you gonna make a baby? It's like
So, on my clay, this project, I should, trying to concentrate talking, it's not working well. Every once in a while I need to add some water, because I can start to feel like there be some drag or friction on my hands, and it hurts. So anytime it starts to hurt, I just add a little bit of water.
is this
All right, it's still a little off center. Let's go ahead and kind of clean a little bit more up.
You forgot to take your wedding ring off. Oh, that was bad.
well,
No, I mean,
what?
well, you.
Did I push it? Is it centered now?
Yeah. No.
No.
No, it's kind of still a mess.
Well, then, like, how long does it take to get that?
Did you see it happen?
What?
Yeah.
It went from being uncentered to centered.
It was like belly rolls.
Oh, wow.
Do you see it much more under control now? All right. Next, what we're going to do is, we haven't really done anything. We just got it to the center, and it took all that time. So now, I know.
Bravo!
Wow.
I like to have a little bit of a clean wheel, so I like to scrape it off every once in a while, but now we're gonna go ahead and start on our actual project. So what we're going to do is, this works most like a pinch pot. You guys haven't done a pinch pot, but here's some pinch pots over here. So it's most like a pinch pot, where you're going to be taking this and opening it up, and kind of working towards making this smaller and smaller walls. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. I'll keep that over here and clean it later. Otherwise, they're gonna wonder why it's a big mess. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I say it's like a pinch pot. If you guys haven't done that, because that's a 7th grade project. But anyway, what you do is you start from the center, and you're going to be opening this up. So I drilled a little bit of a hole here with my finger. And then what I'm gonna do is, the walls are really, really thick right now. So I'm going to, remember I'm wanting to make it look kind of like that pinch pot over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make it taller too. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this clay towards my hand. One hand, I'm switching hands now. One hand always has to be your stable hand. For stability, I do anchor it, and I usually anchor it like on my leg over here. So this is not moving. You don't have much power if your elbows are flying all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and see a change. Kind of. You didn't see anything there?
It looks like a pool.
Well, yeah, with that, I thought you wanted to make.
For some reason, it looks like a pool.
What if, like, you press the
Can I
button
get
like
soup
it,
out
like,
of that?
Alright, so I'm
I
continuing.
have a cup of soup in my book bag and my book. Why? There's no
Alright, so I'm better with seeing today. I'm gonna take this, and at the bottom, what you'll start to see is it's getting to be a shape change, or you should be hopefully seeing great shape changes.
I see it now.
Does it look different than that lump of clay?
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It looks like you could have made it a
No, it
little
looks
bit
like
bigger.
a pot.
So on my project, what I'm going to do is, the clay is really, really thick down here, and it needs to be thinner up, and it needs, some of this thickness needs to go from here and be taller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to pull some of the clay up. So I'm going to start from the outside, and I'm going to slowly spiral it up. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but it should have just grown at that
I
point.
see it. That's right. I didn't see it.
You see it getting taller?
Yes.
I'm gonna take this. Can you give me a ruler? I'll kind of measure it and see. Alright, dirty ruler. So this starts off as, this is 2.5 inches. I'm gonna try this a few more times and see if we can get it up to at least 3 inches. take this again, down at the bottom. Spiraling it up a little bit at a time. I gotta make it more big play. It's got a little bit of a problem. Is it going? That made it, oh, that's not much more than 2.5.
Really fast.
Really fast.
Yeah. Crazy fast.
So fast, it's slow.
Goes fast. Seems that it's weird. I've never I've done this
Last time
once
that I'm
before.
gonna measure.
And I was like,
Did you know what? Alright,
nope, it was a girl.
let's see what I did there. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 4. Alright, now what I want to do is a little bit of shape changing to it. Right now it's kind of coming up at this sort of angle. Let's go ahead and see if we can get anything else out of it. So if I push the clay in, it's going to go in. So it's going to take the general shape of wherever my hand needs it to go. So if I take it
So it's like a
in this
flower
way.
pot.
Wait,
So you can make it like a flower.
If I wanted to take this out further, I could do that too. But you see that my hand is guiding it to be in,
That's
so
awesome.
it's going in. Now let's go ahead and stretch it a little bit. Once I stretch it, it's going to kind of distort it. We'll see how far I can take it. So you can see that my hand is guiding it out.
If you just like, right then, if you just like put the pedals in the middle, it'll just like start spinning and like it stretch.
You're about to find out.
It's like, it is.
This is gonna be such a messy.
Wait, it's a base now.
That's how plates are made.
That
doesn't look like a plate.
doesn't look like a plate, but
It looks
it
like
looks
a
like a bowl. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
see
cereal
the
bowl.
shape
Anybody have any
changing?
Cheerios?
Wait, now it looks like a
I
bowl.
need gluten-free Cheerios.
It looks like.
Alright, that's where I'm ending for today.
What?
I think that we're ready for some other people to give it a try.
Oh yeah, I'm good.